All right, I hope your brains are resting for 1 second because we have a
Yes.
lot to dig into now. Okay. Let me make sure this is the right name. Okay, perfect. It took me right to it.
Good.
Okay.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Really quick, gonna do our little mundo tas, our tossing of the world. So this is our question for today. ¿Cómo estás? Okay. Entonces, ¿cómo estás, David? And we'll answer with I am.
Estoy bien, gracias.
Muy bien.
Right.
Okay, now you can pass it to Mario Rosario. With the same question.
Rosario, ¿cómo estás?
Estoy bien, gracias. Do you want? Can I answer like? Can I use one of the, for example, alegre? I can say that estoy alegre.
Perfecto, perfecto. Muy bien. Sí. Okay, so we have bien y alegre. Okay. So now, está, she is or he is. So María Rosario está alegre.
David está bien.
Sí. Muy bien. Okay. Next question. We're talking about our houses later today. So this one again. ¿Dónde vives? We'll answer with vivo in. So where do you live? I live in.
Vivo in Garland, Texas.
Muy bien.
María dos. ¿Dónde vives?
Vivo en Texas.
Muy bien. Okay. Vive. He or she lives in.
Okay. So I go like this. Sure. David vive en Garland, Texas.
Muy bien.
Okay. María Rose, vive in Texas.
En Texas. Sí. Perfecto. Good. Using all these different forms of the verbs that we're going to learn muchísimo today. Whoa. That was so trippy. It's a little bit laggy.
Yeah, there's a bit of a lag.
I was like seeing myself walk by.
Oh, we're on screen now? Oh, hi there. Hi there.
Hola.
Now, but about 2 to 3
Oh, there is a delay. There's
a delay.
like a
Okay.
15-second delay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm giving you the pronunciations one more week, and then next week they're going away.
Yeah.
I want to memorize it.
Yeah, I think I did. I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you mind? Yeah.
Go for it. Close your eyes. Go.
Oh.
I don't know if I'm going to get every single one, but here we go. All right, my eyes are closed, just so you know I'm not cheating.
Yeah. Do you want her to sing, or can you do it?
No, I'm going to sing.
Okay,
I'm a
go
terrible
for it.
singer. I play guitar.
No, not much of a memory.
Guitarra, excelente.
Cantante.
Cantante, Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L,
Okay, that would be there, but A is not technically a letter.
Oh, well, technically.
But yeah.
M, N, O.
N.
Ñ. O, Pa,
Okay.
P, Q, R, C, no,
That's
S,
it.
S2,
Okay.
S, T, V, W,
U.
U,
V.
U, V, W, X, Y, so, Zeta.
Muy bien.
Okay, come on.
Muy bien.
All right.
Good. Okay, next week we'll try that again. But let's get into these things. And lots of pronunciation practice earlier with our homework. I'm going to take that transition off. Okay, new things, pronouns. I wonder, is there any way that this can be put up next to it?
The
slides.
Okay, I don't have it as a feed here.
If not, they will have them so they can refer.
Okay. Yeah, we have to have it.
Okay, that's okay.
Set up. Okay.
Okay, so we're on the pronouns slide now.
Is it in Google Drive?
They'll have it, yeah. I always give it. Yeah, oh yeah,
I mean,
it's in the Google Drive, so if you.
I can resize, yeah.
It's under lingo and it's in the beginner one class. Like it's on the lingo drive.
Language. Okay. One.
Well.
Let me pull something up, see if it's the right thing.
Okay, it should be class 3 for this.
Gotcha.
Thank you for being patient.
Oh, no.
Could be
We, it's like a year and we're good at this timer and stuff, but it is.
one Spanish.
Is guapo used for a girl?
Guapa.
Mm-hmm. Can you get to mine? Mine's like a shared folder, but it might just be shared with me. But
This is my stuff. I don't know about the rest of it.
I can just share it with you really quick.
Okay.
Just that might make it easier. If I can find the mouse ever. There it is. We're gonna start having a game of like whoever can find my mouse.
Your cursor?
Yes. Okay. There it is. It's clase 3.
So you shared it? Okay.
Okay, los pronombres, or los babies, we've kind of seen them already, so let's guess if we know what they are. So first we have yo, so yo.
Yo.
Okay, what does this mean?
I.
Again. Two.
Two.
You. What kind of you?
Singular.
Good
Yes.
try.
And is it informal or is it formal?
Informal.
Again. El.
L. E.
Again. Can also be it, masculine. That's like for masculine nouns, you can use this to refer to it. Ella.
Ella.
She. Same thing. Feminine nouns. Usted.
You. Formal.
Perfecto.
Nosotros. We.
Muy bien.
Vosotros.
You. Many.
Y'all.
Yeah.
In Spain. Sí.
Ellos. They or them.
Mm-hmm. They can also refer to like not working.
No.
Okay, that's okay. It'll be shared with them, and they'll be able to follow along.
Okay.
No worries. Can also refer to objects. Ellas.
Yes.
Good. Same thing feminine.
Ustedes.
Ustedes.
You.
You. Formal.
Many uniform.
It's not formal. This is just you all
Oh.
in every other Spanish-speaking country. This and this are the same. They just conjugate differently, but they mean the same thing. This is just used in Spain. This is used in every other Spanish-speaking country.
Look at the mic, because she says it sounds really far away.
Okay. Gracias.
Pero it's not used often.
What?
Ustedes. You all.
No, it is.
It is?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, it's used often. Anytime you're addressing like y'all, and you aren't in Spain, that's what you're using.
I guess in Texas,
Like
y'all.
like you, everyone.
Ustedes, y'all.
Like you, everyone in the class.
Yes.
Okay.
Ustedes son mis estudiantes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very common.
Okay.
Okay.
I didn't think it was. For whatever reason, I didn't think it was very hard to
Okay.
say it. But okay.
It's probably because like we hear this in
Yeah.
y'all
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're in any other country except for Spain, it'll be
See.
ustedes. Okay, and then just an interesting note, because people are, not everyone necessarily wants to have a masculine or feminine gender pronoun.
Right.
I've never taught this before. This week I've been doing this teen camp, and so we kind of like did some research and looked into this. And this is seeming to be the like gender neutral they pronoun. So where we have él y ella, ella comes in and it means they, and it's just non-gender specific. And then you'll see this reflected in adjectives. And this like will never really be like tested or like in a book or anything really, but it's just, interesting to understand from like sociolinguistic lens, just kind of like how like language is shifting and like adapting to the world and culture and everything.
Okay.
So we take the word, we said guapo just a second ago. So if we're, making this masculine, we would say guapo.
Yeah.
Feminine would be
Guapa.
guapa. AA, non-gender specific, would go guape.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So again, probably are not hearing this a lot like yet, but just kind of interesting to keep your ear open for it because you might hear this or like bonite,
Yeah.
hermose.
Yeah.
And again, this is a newer thing,
Yeah.
and there's been a lot of different versions of it that I've kind of seen, but this seems to be the one that's going to be sticking. Okay. This pronoun and then this sort of variation.
Okay.
So, just, extra little info.
Yeah.
Alright, so now let's do some práctica. So we're going to fill in the blanks here. So we have the English up here. She is an artist. So what should go here?
Ella.
Ella. Ella es una artista. Muy bien. Okay. He is an artist. Also notice, remember these occupation words that end vista? Only this part will change for gender. It will stay a, even if it's masculine. So what is our pronoun here? He is an artist.
Él es un artista.
Muy bien. Él es un artista. They are family.
Ellos son familia.
Good. We go with ellos, because it's a group of not only feminine, it's mixed.
Full House. Look at that.
Yeah.
Ha! I was watching. I don't know why I like that show. But I watch every single
It
episode.
was good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now we have they are sisters.
Ellas.
Good.
Hermanas.
So we take the feminine form of that because it's all female, all feminine. Ellas son hermanas. Okay. Y'all are photographers, but notice the verb conjugation. So which one are we going to use here?
The verb.
This is telling you, because there's two ways we say y'all.
Uh-huh.
This is going to tell you this conjugation. Tells you which one goes here. It's a lot to think about.
I'm going to say ustedes.
Sí.
I don't know why I picked that though.
Son fotógrafos. Or fotógrafas. So we're acting as this is being said to them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is y'all. And we're not in Spain, assuming with this.
Right.
How would it be different if we were in Spain?
It would be
This would become,
vosotros.
remember this?
Seis.
Sois. S-O-I-S. Vosotros sois fotógrafos. Okay. But then ustedes son fotógrafas. Same meaning, just, depends on where you are. Okay, we are friends.
Nosotros somos amigos.
Okay.
Oh, simultaneous.
Yeah. That was perfect. Nosotros somos amigos. Muy bien.
Friends. Great show. Sorry.
Okay, fun one. You have white hair, but we're addressing
Uh-huh.
la reina, the queen.
The queen.
So what should we say? Although I know if I ever meet the queen, this is not the sentence I will say to her.
Right.
But what would we say? What would we use here?
Usted.
Good. She definitely is a usted.
Usted tiene pelo blanco.
Good. And this is also a helpful hint, because this would have been tienes. So usted tiene pelo blanco.
Okay.
Muy bien. Okay.
It is red.
It is red.
Él es
Él
rojo.
Perfecto. Él es rojo. Okay. Muy bien. Feel good with those?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Let's go to similar. So those are our subject pronouns. So just I, you, he, she, it, y'all, them, they. Now we're gonna do possessive pronouns. Okay. So this is gonna be like my, your, his, hers, those kind. And then we'll even get to like mine and yours. Okay, so we have me.
Okay.
¿Qué significa? What does this one mean?
Mine.
Mine. Good. Me. Tú, without an accent mark.
Yours.
Your. Your, informal. Su.
His, hers.
His, hers, or your formal. Can even be theirs. Su is kind of everything else. So me, tú, su. Okay, fun one. Say this one. Nuestro.
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 ¿Qué significa?
Ours.
Muy bien. So ours. Vuestro. Try this one.
Vuestro.
¿Qué significa?
Yours.
Yeah, y'all's. Yours,
Y'all's.
plural. And only in España.
In Spain. Yep.
And then su again right here. Ignore this. It's gonna come out of this one. His again, same thing as this, just his, her, yours. I'm gonna put to the next one, but it's the same exact thing. Oh, I switched. I meant to put the other one on this one. Interesting. Okay. I put the plural on the last slide, but it should be on this one. So these all change for number, and these change for number and gender. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, esta es mi silla. This is my chair. Estas son mis sillas. These are my chairs. Not true, but an example. Esta es tu libro. This is your book. Estos son tus libros. These are your books.
Okay. Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Esta clase es nuestra. Okay?
The class is ours.
Yes. Esta es nuestra clase, right?
Yeah.
Esta es nuestro edificio. This is our building. So you change it for gender. Estas son nuestras sillas. These are our chairs. Is this making sense? Okay, so same pattern. We are just staying with matching the number and gender to this. These are like adjective pronouns. Okay. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Questions?
Preguntas.
Preguntas. Muy bien. Okay, then we also have a few more.
Ay, Dios mío.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Meal is so these are like these can kind of be like emphasizing my or it can be mine. So like if I said esta silla es mía, this chair is mine. Right? It wouldn't really make sense. Esta silla es mí. That doesn't make sense. It's not mía. It's mine. This chair is mine. Yeah. Got it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then these will change for number and gender. All three of these that we have.
Yeah.
With tuyo, which would be
Yours.
yours. Esta silla es tuya. This chair is yours. Okay. And that's informal. Suyo,
Theirs.
or his,
Or
hers,
his,
yours.
hers.
Yeah. His, hers, yours, theirs. Formal. Well, formal just for the yours. Good. Make sense? Okay. Okay. Presentas. We use these all the time now. Very useful words to have.
Oh.
What's this? Okay. So let's get into those variables. I want to spend quite a minute here. Okay. So start to shift gears a little bit. All right. So you've probably kind of noticed we've seen some verbs so far, and all the verbs in Spanish are going to end in either AR, PR, or IR. And if you see a verb that has this ending, then it's in its infinitive form and it's not conjugated to a specific person. So, okay. So let's just go with hablar. ¿Qué significa? Anyone? To speak. Good. To speak. So here in its infinitive form, whenever it still has the AR tacked onto the end, it's infinitive, it's not a specific person, it just means to speak. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Perfect.
That is the verb itself. And then
Just
you go with, hablo.
Exactly.
You go through those.
This is just like the dictionary
yes,
form.
yes, hablar.
This is just
like comer, is
No
another
change.
verb, until you get to
Right.
I, you, we, they.
Exactly.
Yo entiendo.
Muy bien. Alright, so then all of our endings have different conjugations to indicate the person that they are, the person that is doing the action. And these are the high frequency, regular conjugations. We'll of course learn some variation, different patterns that occur, but we'll start basic foundational today. I will throw a few high frequency that don't necessarily follow this pattern at you today, but that's just because they're high frequency and we'll see them a lot and kind of already seen them anyway. So also we've been seeing these charts already, I believe. Have y'all seen these 6 stack? Think about our pronouns like we just looked at. We saw yo, tú, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes.
Right. Okay.
That's the same block.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll always be that pattern, no matter what.
Okay.
Always.
What's the difference between the left and the right of each?
Perfect.
So.
That's what we're going next. So on the left, singular. Okay. So we have yo, one person, tú, one person, and usted, one person. This side we have plural. Amos, we, so it's more than one person. Still in the first person line also, because we're included. Ais, y'all, more than one person. And then on, them or y'all, more than one person. That makes sense?
Okay.
Good. Okay. Awesome. So yes, get very comfortable with this because you'll see this all the time, and your brain will just automatically know, whichever square you're looking at. This square right here will always be vosotros. This one will always be usted. Yeah. Make sense? Yeah. Perfect. So let's look at these a little closer, and we're gonna get some good verbs today. And we'll read through each of these just so we have them in our brain, and you will get 3 and more. The 3 new verb lists this week in Brainscape. I'll keep them separated, AR, ER, IR, just to make them in kind of smaller chunks and help your brain kind of, wrap around those separately before.
Okay.
Yeah. Just kind of makes it easier to kind of grasp onto.
Okay.
Okay, so for AR verbs, there's a lot here. You'll see like on the other slides, there's not as many, and that just kind of reflects AR is the most common. Second place, second
Second
person plural.
Accented on the A, not the I.
What did I do?
Ice.
Ice. I know that.
Okay, good.
I don't know why. Yeah, it should be ice, not ice.
It does have the tilde there, but on the
It doesn't
first
have the
one.
tilde on that A. My bad.
Gotcha.
Well,
We see it rarely in these parts.
yeah, that's true, but good to know.
Still good to know.
Because it always looks crazy if there's like a tilde and then like the dot over the I. Always kind of a lot. I'm gonna like just write down.
See.
Okay, so let's read through these verbs. Some of these, at least this one we've seen. So let's read through these. We have cantar.
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 Muy bien. Cantar, sí. Bailar.
Bailar.
Muy bien. Bajar.
Bajar.
Caminar.
Caminar.
Comprar.
Comprar.
Contestar.
Contestar.
Descansar.
Descansar.
Entrar.
Entrar.
Escuchar.
Escuchar.
Estudiar.
Estudiar.
Hablar.
Hablar.
Bien. Limpiar.
Limpiar.
Llegar.
Llegar.
Mirar.
Mirar.
To look at, it can also just be to look. Nadar.
Nadar.
Practicar.
Practicar.
Regresar.
Regresar.
Trabajar.
Trabajar.
Viajar.
Viajar.
Tomar.
Tomar.
This is the word you'll use a lot with like drinking coffee or like ordering food at a restaurant. Tomar. Llevar.
Llevar.
And then this, coffee to go is para llevar. Anything to go. Para llevar. To carry. Yeah. Okay, so now we have all of our conjugations over here. So let's look at how this actually works.
Well, not all of them for the whole thing.
Not all of them. All of the ones for the AR verbs in the present tense that follow the high frequency pattern. So let's look at our verb hablar more closely. We'll just work off this one. So we look at our verb, we find our AR stem, and that part is going to fall off. And then we just have like this, and that's where our endings come. So now we have all, and all of a sudden it means I speak. No longer to speak. So next we have
Hablas.
hablas, and then
Habla.
muy bien, and then
Hablamos.
wow, incredibly easy, right? Okay, habláis. Oh, I love this marker, and I can tell it's running out.
Hablamos.
Y finalmente, hablan.
Got plenty more.
I know, I just love the red one. Okay.
I've read
Perfect. So, whiteboards again. Not racing, just practicing.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have all these AR verbs here. And I'm going to say, I work. Now I want you to write that in its correct conjugation in español. Gracias. Muy bien. Read it to me, por favor. You can read it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh,
It's
oh.
okay. I kind of said it in Spanish,
Oh,
or
lo
English
siento.
than Spanish. So
Yo trabajo.
Yo trabajo. I work. Okay, next one. Muy bien. Okay. We will do. We swim. All I wanted to do today and all this week with the 1999 degrees. We swim. Maria Rosario, would you like to read it in 1 second? Actually, that'd be just 5 seconds. Read it. Muy bien.
Nosotros nadamos.
Too many syllables.
Yes. One more time.
Nadamos.
Yep.
Nadamos.
The R tells you that it's not agreeing with a person.
Yes.
Nadamos.
Nadamos.
In fact, I want to emphasize that an infinitive is not really a verb. It's a verbal noun.
Okay. Fun.
And I'd also want to point out the really is best taken as part of the stem. That's why it repeats everywhere. You just don't have it in
You
optional.
just have it. Okay, I've always felt that way as well. Okay.
It's the best because when you have the ed, verbs, you keep those vowels too. You just lose the before o.
Okay. Yeah.
What is that?
Think
So,
of
think
this as a meaningful piece.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
This is the stem.
Oh.
Because you have more. You have A's, right?
Oh.
The I will get deleted if the vowel follows, but otherwise it's always there in this paradigm.
Right.
You're just adding
Yes, it is.
a consonant or two.
Yes.
Right.
Good to know. Yes.
And then here it gets accented.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for all
And
AR,
then for
Well,
all AR.
For the present.
it is the A remains, the R goes.
Yes.
And we're conjugating.
R
But-
just tells you infinitive, so
Yes.
it doesn't belong in a finite
Yes.
verb.
Got it.
Yeah.
Not.
That's
And then
good.
for the O form, the A is an O instead.
Okay.
That was changes.
Yeah.
And only in present tense. So get comfortable with it, but not too comfortable.
Yes.
It'll change again. But yes.
Yes.
Different story in other tenses, and you get changes to the stem elsewhere, but here, real simple.
Okay. Good.
And IR is a little different because it, we'll see it whenever we get there. Okay, let's do a few more on this one. Let's do they, plural, listen.
I think I might write a block list on that.
Okay. Yeah. Good. Read it to me, por favor, and just say actually do that more. And then I'll use that one.
I can't write in my writing.
So we have
I wrote it wrong.
escuchar.
Got it.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
Ellos escuchan.
Muy bien. Ellos or ellas or ustedes, all those can be with that conjugation. But yeah, they, ellos, ellas. Listen. Muy bien. Alright, let's go to ER. I feel kind of comfortable with this. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Muy bien. Oh, wrong direction. Let's go forward. Okay, so now we have an ER verb. So we go with the high frequency one. Comer, which is
To eat.
to eat. So we have our infinitive, our verbal noun, right here. My new term. I
New
have.
mantra.
Yes. So again, here the R will drop, and then the first person is going to switch to an O. So our first person conjugation is
Like this. Como.
yes. It's
Como.
Como.
Como. Muy bien. Second person will be
Gomez.
C.
So is the stem COM?
A little bit more.
C-O-M-E.
E.
Mhm.
Okay.
Before the vowel O, you just drop that last vowel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only ending that consists of just a vowel.
Okay.
Oh wait, well with como we actually have a zero ending under that analysis, right? If the E is part of the stem, the ending for 13 is actually zero.
Right.
How fun. A meaningful nothing.
Interesting. Yeah, so this next one is just
Come.
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 Just the root, just the stem.
Yep.
Just drop the R.
Makes sense that it would be third singular, does
I
that?
think that one, next one is comemos.
Yeah.
The España.
Oh, this one too. I'm so annoyed. I'm always so whatever.
Yeah.
This one is Coméis.
It's an easy fix.
Yeah, easy fix. That was a mistake I made all through high school too, and I thought I was good, but yeah.
Just sort of put the tilde in the middle of the vowels and
Okay, and then the last one.
Comen.
Perfecto. Alright, so let's look at these verbs and we'll do some conjugations. We have comer,
Comer.
aprender,
Aprender.
beber,
Beber.
comprender,
Comprender.
correr.
Correr. I'm trying to get that.
It was good.
I'm trying to get that.
Leer,
Leer.
romper,
Romper.
vender,
Vender.
responder,
Responder.
deber,
Deber.
proteger.
Proteger.
Muy bien. Okay. Con. How many words?
Las tabletas blancas.
Dun, dun,
Let's do first. You learn. Informal. You learn informal. Rosario, you can do this one in just a moment.
Drawing a blank for some reason. Okay.
And you go here. Muy bien. Okay, por favor.
To aprender.
Sí, okay, but we will need an accent mark on that. To, because that's a subject pronoun.
Right.
Okay. If it doesn't have an accent written, then it means your.
Okay.
That would mean your, you learn, which doesn't
Oh.
really work. Alright, let's do he reads.
Only two different letters needed for this one, right? Plus D.
I have no idea. This one is
got
so
it.
weird to me.
Go find,
Okay,
find them.
I think I got it.
Okay. This one feels very strange. So we have he, remembering all of our pronouns that we just covered. He reads. Yes, you went for the non-gendered one.
Yes. I think I got it.
And make sure we're using a pronoun and not an article. We're not doing the, he reads. Okay, both of y'all need the accent over your E to make it he.
Oh.
Otherwise, it's just the.
Just remember, he's a pro, and the pro needs that's his title or something.
Yes.
Pro now.
Alright, who wants to try to pronounce this one? Feels a little interesting.
L-A-A?
Good. L-A.
L-A.
Yeah. You kind of say that twice, or you can just kind of hold it a little longer. L-A.
L.A.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Second most populous city, LA.
L-A.
L.A.
Okay, let's do I drink. Oh, there's maybe point to it. I drink. It's fine. Yeah. Okay, where do you read that for us, David?
Yo bebo.
Yo bebo. Muy bien.
And we do the baby drinks.
El bebe bebo. Or no, el bebe bebe.
Baby.
That's cute.
The baby drinks like I eat.
El bebe bebe como como.
Oh, that's funny.
That's the fun one. Bebe bebe como como.
Apparently Paul left a message saying she would join later, so it worked out well. They're joining late, I guess.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I guess, are they, let me check the Google Classroom
Sounds good.
right quick and just see, usually actually it notifies me if someone comments. So, hopefully they can log in. Is that mic catching me a little better, hopefully?
Hope so. Evan said it sounded good after
Oh, he checked? Awesome. Thank you, Evan.
Levi did 2 earlier, said it didn't sound great, so that's why I got them.
Okay. Alright. Feeling kind of comfortable-ish with these?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know we're gonna you don't need to be 100% yet, but just comfortable-ish will be a good place to be for now. Alright. So now let's look at IR. These are a little funky, but everything's funky really. So alright. So IR, we'll go with VV because we've seen this one. Significa. What does this mean?
To live.
To live. So this one doesn't really follow our rule. So nice. So this one is going to have the same endings as the ER verbs, except for in imos and is. You know what I do? I always copy these squares so they look the exact same. And I bet I just added the A and the E in French right here.
All right.
Anyway, anything to blame it on. Okay, so. Alright, so let's conjugate our word vivir. So our first person will be yo,
Vivo.
vivo, tú,
Vives.
good, vives. So right. So yeah, this one, I mean, I guess really this one is you take the I and the R off.
Right. You have different forms of the stem depending on what follows.
Right.
It was originally short E, but then raised to E sometimes.
Okay. And these.
So I would say to keep the infinitive method, we'll just have VV as your stem with changes that affect the final.
So third person, el usted.
Vive.
Vive. We saw this one earlier. And nosotros
Vivimos.
vivimos. So here we see it goes to that E. Vivimos. And this will be good later whenever it's the preterite. The nosotros form stays the same, but in the IR there is a change. So just a little seed. I'll see you later. Okay, vosotros. Vivís. Vivís. I like that word. Vivís. I don't know why, but that vivís, something about like the sound of that makes me think of like a champagne bottle of coffee. I don't know what it is. Just sounds like bubbles or like something. And finally, ellos y ustedes
Viven.
viven.
Remember that the 2 V's sound different because of their position of the word.
Sí, viven. This one turns kind of into that more lazy viven. Viven, yeah. Yeah, more lazy V sound. Viven. Okay, do a few of these, and then we're going to go on our little scavenger hunt around lingo and practice these conjugations while moving a little bit so we're not just sitting all the time. Alright, let's do I open. No, not I open, but yo. Not ojo abre, but I open. Alright, gonna read it for us, Maria?
Yo abro.
Yo abro. Okay, not abrio.
Oh.
That will be a different thing. That'll be a different thing. Someday.
Oh, it will.
It will be. Past tense.
Oh, that's right.
Abrio. That would be he, she, you.
Oh, wow.
Abrio. Then it's an accent word. Good. Yo abro. Let's do we attend. I almost went past tense. We attend. of patterns to connect in your mind.
I think I got it.
All right, so you ready for us?
Nosotros asistimos.
Asistomos.
Asistomos?
Asistimos. So we're here. Asisti, drop the R. We go to M-O-S. Asistimos. Makes sense. You see how we did that?
So one was dropped and the other one's added. That's the impression I get.
One is dropped and the other's added?
Yes. Like yo, I put with the I. And there's no I.
Right.
And nosotros, I hesitated to put the I.
Right.
See,
So
because here's how I'm trying to learn this. I'm trying to learn what sounds right, not necessarily what is written right.
Right.
Yeah.
¿Entiendes?
Sí. Okay. So that's what I'm trying to figure out how.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Train like
yeah.
Your ears what sounds right. Yeah. IR will have the nosotros and vosotros form will keep the I. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Muy bien. So one more. Do they write? They write.
Right.
They write. I really confused you with that AA. Maria Rosario.
I think I did.
So you write it in.
I better get this right. It sounds right to me.
Okay. Almost. This is an AR verb. Ellos escriben.
Is AS like they, female, like
yeah,
they the girls and AOS is they the boys?
Yes.
Or
so
they the boys and the girls is AOS?
Sí. So you can use AS here because I didn't specify.
Okay.
We just confused you because we were saying AOS and you wrote the OS.
Yeah.
Sí, okay. Read it first, Maria Rosario.
Ellas escriben.
Muy bien. Okay, also, I just remembered, I wanted to make a note on that last one. This verb, asistir, to attend, is a fun thing that Spanish does.
Fun thing.
So we have asistir, means to attend. Okay, and then we have atender, which means to assist.
Wow, it just seems like the opposite.
Yeah, that's when I think of like, so your assistant tend to something.
Tend to something, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, easy to get those flopped. Yeah. Especially.
Okay.
All right. So find a blank sheet of paper. And okay, this gets like a little confusing explaining at first, but just hang with me and I'll walk you through the first few and I'll be here to help you through this entire thing. So you want to have like two columns to work with. On one side we're going to have verbs and then like conjugated verbs. And on the other side we're going to have the English definition.
English definition.
Okay, so what we're going to do is you're going to go around the room, find one card. Just you can start at any of them because they're all going to connect and take you back to the one you started at. Does that make sense? Okay, so if I start over here with boy, that just reminded me. I'm going to go over the directions first and then I have this couple that I'm going to show y'all that don't necessarily follow this pattern.
There's one on the
Oh, she fell. Okay.
Where is that? Or maybe it's just not the best surface for it.
Yeah. I'll skip here actually. We don't know this one. Vivo. So I'm gonna write vivo right here on my first line. This is a verb. It's conjugated, right?
Okay.
Then the words in green. This is a clue. Okay. So this is we take. So if you think, what was to take? And we can flip through this and we can use this. So if we need to flip around, I can go back through and we can look through and find which one it is. Oh look, it's tomar. So if it's we take, that's going to be nosotros. So we want nosotros tomamos, right? Using that ending. So now I have to go find that verb. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So the clue here is we take. Okay. And so we want to write that down so we know where we're going. But don't write it on the same line.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense? Skip a line. We take.
Okay.
And then once you find the correct card, tomamos, that will be the one that matches up with it. And then on tomamos, you'll get a new clue.
Okay.
The next definition, and that'll go on the next.
The word in black has nothing to do with the thing in the green.
No,
Underneath it.
they're not related.
They're just linking. Okay.
They're just linking you to the next clue and taking you around.
Got it.
But before we do that, I'll use three verbs, very high frequency, and I'll leave them up here so you can refer back to them. So we have ir, which means to go. We have tener, which means to have. We have hacer, which means to do or to make. And we'll look at all three of these more closely in the coming weeks, but just so you see them here. Okay. All right. And for voy, we have yo, or for ir, sorry, we'll have yo voy. Vas, all these here. Él, ella, usted, va. Nosotros vamos, which I am sure you've heard that one before. Vosotros vais. Y ellos, ellas, ustedes van. Okay, so we have I go, you go, he, she, you, formal go, we go, y'all go in Spain, they go.
I'm not going in Spain.
So the conjugation has nothing to do with the IR.
No. Nope.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay. Fun?
Yeah.
And I'll leave these up here so you can look at them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll help you. I will not just make you just remember all of these verbs, but it's just a more interactive way to get the verbs in your brain. We have tener. And for your form, we're going to have tengo. Fun.
Sounds like a dance.
Then we'll have tú tienes. Él, ella, usted tiene. Nosotros tenemos. Vosotros tenéis. Ellos tienen. So many things. But high frequency, you'll use this a lot, and so it will just be very natural. And we'll look more into the why of all of it later, not today. Just prime your brain for it. And then finally, we have hacer, which is pretty normal. We just have one little funky thing. The yo form is hago. Okay? So hago. And then we have haces. So we see here, we're following that same pattern for an ER verb. Dropping the R, we're just adding that ending.
This shows us what the basic forms of the endings are. It's not just the S consonant, but S. That's all.
Yes. singles. These. And on my iPad, I have this like tool where I can like draw around things and like move them.
That's cool.
And it like I like want to do it on the whiteboard all the time. Whenever it doesn't space out correctly. Yeah. Yeah. We don't have that yet. Not that high-end technology. All right.
Got it.
So go pick a card.
Okay.
Any card, and once you get to your card, try to figure out what that one means. Because then once you see that one on another card somewhere, that means that you go back to your first card and that you are finished.
Okay.
All right.
So this one is. So I found the word.
Yeah. I'm gonna use. Okay. So ignore these.
Right.
That's it.
So so that.
So our first one here is
I write it here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
That means to. It means we have.
we have. Okay, so that keep that one kind of in your brain. So once you see we have, you'll write it here.
Gotcha. Now they run.
They run. Oh, you were all down. Okay, nice. So
Ellas corren. Go.
they.
Ella corre.
Ellas. Or
Ellas corren.
They.
Yeah, they. Right.
So go to your next line. That's going to be they run.
Okay. And then over here, right?
Corren, and I will find it. After.
Got it.
You got it. Good.
So now I just find
So now
corre.
you can find corren. And there will be pronouns on it.
Oh, there it is. Okay, I got it.
It's just
that's corre.
los verbs.
So now.
Okay, and y'all can just look through the verbs on those slides and just work on conjugating them into the different pronouns. Sure.
Step away for a moment.
Let's see. Take few verbs on these slides. Let me check what slide they are.
Pretty big.
David, vamos a conjugar slides.
Yeah.
Okay,
I need
because
to memorize these.
37, 39, and just conjugating them into 42 different. Let's see if we covered that. Few verbs. Okay. And you get started real quick?
Okay. Where are we?
We don't take them off.
Sorry.
It's okay. Don't collect them because then she'll get lost
No,
on her scavenger hunt.
Lo siento.
Está bien,
Right.
todo está bien. Okay, so your first one is haces.
Haces.
What does that mean?
Oh. I don't want to look. I gotta get this. To do.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's haces.
I said to do. Haces would be you, so that'd be you. You do.
Do.
You do.
You do or you make. Okay, good. So whenever you see that one, that's going to bring you back here and you'll write it here. Okay? But for now, your clue is we go.
Okay.
So on the next line, write we go. Or if you want to skip a line.
Skip a line.
If you like. Okay?
Okay.
We go. And once you find this conjugated verb, it'll go here. So it lines up. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So how do we say we go?
Vamos.
Ir is our verb to go.
Vamos.
Good. So now you need to go find vamos.
Oh, what?
You can write it here.
I write it
You
here.
can write it here,
Okay.
but go find it to get your next clue to write on the next
Vamos.
slide. Does that make sense? Okay, go to the next one.
I know, it makes sense when you watch your next one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does. But am I looking for the one behind you? Am I looking for écrire? Écrire? For that one? So I went to Corin.
You're turning into a French speaker.
Escribir.
We don't take time.
So this one was she writes. So ella escribe. Ella is singular.
Okay, so I'm not doing I am conjugating.
They'll all be conjugated. So ella escribe. Okay.
Now I'm looking for escribe.
Escribe. That's your next one.
No.
Okay, so you had vamos.
Vamos.
We go.
I am lost. I am so lost.
Okay.
Why
are you here?
I don't know.
We have to go find vamos. That was your next one. They all connect. You see? Vamos.
I'm tired. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't find escribe.
So, what are we doing again? I'm terribly sorry.
No, you're doing
I am
fine.
so lost.
Okay, so now we have, so our clue is we go.
Uh-huh.
Vamos.
Vamos.
Here she is.
Okay.
This card.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So
All
now
right.
your next clue is I want.
I want.
Okay? That goes right here.
That goes right there. Yo tengo. I want.
Okay?
Is escribir missing?
Escribe.
Escribe.
La ventana.
Oh, gosh.
It's just very close.
It's hard to see it. Okay.
Escribe.
Okay. So I want is yo quiero. That's what we're
Oh,
saying.
yeah. That's right. Yo quiero.
So quiero. So Q-U-I.
I'm writing this one. Okay, all right.
That should be here. Because that was
Okay.
Yeah, it's all connected. So
Okay.
quiero.
Quiero.
Good. So now you need to go find that part.
So I need to find quiero.
Quiero. Go find
Okay.
quiero.
Oops, I'm gonna trip over that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We can unplug it too.
Be-
How are you doing, Maria Rosario?
I think I'm looking for tango for I have.
Yeah.
Is it yo tango or just tango?
Either way.
So pronouns always drop.
Gotcha.
Unless you're being specific.
Got it. So tango.
Okay. Tango.
I see.
And if you see I and F, yeah, informal.
Do. So do is hacer, and you do informal is hace.
You informal. Informal is two.
Oh, hacer, haces.
Haces. Okay.
Now this is all of a sudden in English.
Right. We have our Spanish and our English. So this is telling you which one to go find next. They've all been done.
A chain of clues.
So this is going to be your next line for you. Informal says eat.
Informal.
Eat. Okay, so your next clue is you
You.
eat goes out. Which will be what? What do you
Comer. Yo como.
That would be I eat. You eat. I know. It's so much. It's so fun. You're going to sleep so well tonight.
I'm having fun. I am just.
Two comes.
Two homes.
Right? So this one will be comes. So you eat comes.
Homes.
So now that's your next part to go find.
Okay.
Comes. Muy bien.
Next card to find.
Comes.
Homes.
Sí.
Okay.
That's the first track we'll go.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes. So in here.
Will they do to want?
Oh, let me do that one. That's that querer. This is I want. This is when you're on. Okay, it'll be quiero. So it's Q. You will look at this for everything. Yes, just like that. Quiero.
So now I'm looking for quiero.
I think that one is out here. Yeah.
All right, I got it now.
Okay.
Okay, moving on.
It takes a while. It
Okay,
takes a while, yeah.
moving on. Got it now. Okay. Yo entiendo.
Yay, okay, yes. I
Okay.
can tell you have it now. It takes a second to
I couldn't even process it, for some reason.
I know. And there's just like not a great way to explain it. You just kind of have to do it.
It's backwards.
You have to do it a few
Uh-huh.
moments. Yes, your next one, comes. From there. Comes. Yes, somewhere over in this.
Over here, okay. Over here.
Very close.
Okay. Vivo. Okay. Vivo we take. Nosotros.
Bien. Yes. Oh, y'all caught up. What's going on over there?
Is I did up there, didn't I? So that was they run is up there. So that was before.
No, this is we have.
They run.
Oh, they run.
Oh, I started at that, right?
Oh, then yeah.
I'm done. How what I did?
I think it's not bad.
Here a ding.
Okay, well, let's see. Here, so I have 2, Your next one is they arrive.
Oh, gosh, we say, oh, I never mind. Okay, that's it.
Okay, good. It wasn't very recent, not far back. Mistake.
Alright.
You started looking at Sydney Hall straight here.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the wrong word. Got it. Okay, so I just okay, so now
you're killing it, David.
I'm busy right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay, God. Yay, God.
Okay.
Oh! You alright?
I'm good, thank you.
Chair attacking. Yeah.
They are right.
They, plural.
How do you say goodbye to a chair?
Adios, see ya.
See ya.
Adios, yeah.
Just see ya.
Oh, just see ya. Oh, see ya. Oh, good one, good one, good one.
Ellas arrive. Ellas llegan.
Llegan.
Llegan. Llegan. Or llegan.
I just saw this one. I thought mine.
Llegan. Llegan. Llegan.
I thought they were done. I feel like there were 2 on this wall.
It could have been. They do lose the pick sometimes.
Yay, God. I really thought it was right here.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, okay, studies. Here it is. Studies. Is enforced.
That's right.
Which one? Here, let me see.
See, you run informal.
This is they run.
Estudia.
I see you.
Oh, I didn't write that because I knew it. Yeah.
Right, so you run. This is they run. So find you run.
Corres, yeah.
Okay, that one.
Corres, yeah. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, okay.
That one was.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. Tricky.
Yeah.
Boy.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm on boy.
Okay. I think you're close.
Am I good? Am I done? Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're close.
And then. The verbs. So.
Tenemos this next one. Aha.
I think you might be getting close.
Run.
Okay.
So to run is correr, isn't it? To corres.
Already do that one.
Okay. And wow, correr and corres. Okay.
I know.
And then
that one is
corres. And we have.
Escriba.
What was your first one? What was your first one?
Oh, yeah. Tenemos. That's we have. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, that was
journey.
Yeah, it was. It really was.
You feel
Yeah.
an actual accomplishment, right?
Yeah.
Walked
Pieced
miles,
it all together.
figured it out. Alright, which one are we on?
Escriba.
Escribe.
Escribe. Oh, there? Oh.
So she writes. Escribe all the way in the corner of la ventana.
¿Dónde?
La ventana.
Oh, la ventana. La ventana. Okay.
Oh, there's such a nice sunset. You see it.
Oh, that's pretty.
Atardecer.
Ooh.
Muy hermoso. That right there.
Very nice. Wow, that was like.
I know, it's good though.
Yeah.
It's such an accomplishment.
Conjugating verbs, not easy.
Oh, here's a dead guy.
Okay, thank you.
It is we have atardecer. Literally means like to become later. But it also means sunset.
Atardecer. I like that word.
And then amanecer, like to become morning. And that's sunrise.
Atardecer.
Sunset. And amanecer. Right.
Nice.
Yo, we don't.
I read, leer. So yo,
Leo.
yo.
Leo.
See. I'm glad that none of them got lost in my fourth grade.
Oh.
If you lose one, it would just.
Oh my god, it would if one dropped, like you'd be all over. Yeah.
What was your first one? What your first one was essays that you went to?
Oh, sí.
Okay. So we eat.
Sorry, I'm getting a little busy right now.
If you want to.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting a little
But
dizzy.
you haven't done with that.
Yeah.
You got a lot of practice. That was so great.
Yeah.
Muy bien, a todos. Good.
I play tennis and I shouldn't make this as an excuse. Well, I put it to you this way. I played a lot of tennis in the heat yesterday.
God. Oh my god.
100-degree heat.
Yeah.
So,
no worries.
yeah, so I guess it's catching up to me. I'm not a 21-year-old anymore. I still want to feel like I am.
No worries. Good job.
But
That was a lot of brain power.
Yeah, it was.
But you can do it, and I'll be easier for me.
yes,
Yeah.
see.
You know how to do it.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna finish up with what?
This person asks, what is happening?
What's up? Fly on the wall and spin us. Alright, we're gonna finish up with some question words. And then we'll briefly look over a little bit of house vocab. And then that'll be a big thing to study for this week for homework. And then we'll start with.
I'm sorry, what for homework?
We'll get to it.
Oh.
Just it'll be having to do with house vocab.
Okay.
We're finishing up mostly with question words and then a little peek at house vocab, and that'll be our combo at this next class, along with our homework, which will be a very fun thing. So, here we go. Okay, so question words, las palabras interrogativas. Okay? So we've seen a few of them already.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're just going to look at them here so they're primed on the brain. And then we're going to do some filling in the blanks to practice. And then that will be that. And you'll have one book word thing. It's just like 10 questions with the question words for this week. Alright, so let's read these together. We have como.
Como.
Donde.
Donde.
Where have we seen como?
Nice.
How are you?
How are you? ¿Cómo estás? Where else?
I was going to say como te dices. What did you say? I don't know. That was just in my mind. Sorry.
That's como se dice. That was one.
Oh, como se dice.
Como se dice.
Como se
How do
dice.
you say?
How do you say?
What about como te llamas?
Oh yeah.
Como te llamas.
So what that literally means is how do you call yourself?
Yeah.
Como. Yes. Next one, please. Okay, we have quién.
¿Quién?
Or quiénes.
¿Quiénes?
It's more than one person. And we have qué. Very high frequency. Also, this is good. Just like a good thing to remember. If you're having a conversation with someone and you maybe didn't hear them, this which might be very common if we're trying to speak Spanish with people and you are needing them to repeat. If you say que, like what, that sounds pretty rude. So you want to say como.
Oh.
Yes. So
Like I didn't like okay.
Like if you need someone to repeat what they said, you say como. If you say que, it sounds a bit more harsh.
Ouch! I'm being rude to my mom. Oh my goodness! Because
well, you know,
I say
if it's with your mom though, you know she knows.
Wait, yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But como is just a little
yeah.
it's a little more polite.
What if someone's calling you and you go what? Like hey David, what? You know, like in you know, like that. Like, do you?
Either way, I would probably say como.
You still come up.
Como.
Okay.
Or like dime, tell me.
Dime.
You might hear
Was
that.
it?
Sí.
Dime. Oh, dime.
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Yeah.
En español novelas. With somebody picking up the phone, I've heard someone say bueno.
Bueno. That's
And
not.
others would say, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bueno, even like we saw that short version, buenas. Bueno, buenas. All those
Sí.
can kind of just be shortened. Closed. Muy bien. So we have cuál.
¿Cuál?
Or cuáles.
¿Cuáles?
And then we have por qué. Okay. Probably heard that. Okay. Those are such a dramatic word sometimes.
Sorry, I have to add the other por qué, which is because.
Yes, we're gonna go there too in just a second. No, you're good. I'm glad you know that. You already know. Okay, so cuál, this is an interesting one too. This word is used more in Spanish than maybe we would use the word which in English. I feel like I personally don't use which that often. I would just default to what. But cuál is used. The way I think of it is if there's like a set of something you're picking from, then you'll probably use cuál back. So you're saying which one. It's not as open-ended like que. So like if I'm asking what day is it, I would use that word cuál. ¿Cuál día? Because we're just picking from 7 days. ¿Cuál día es hoy? What day is today? What day is it? Okay. Or like if we're asking about like favorites. ¿Cuál es tu comida favorita? What is your favorite food? Okay, yeah. Okay, is do there's does it sound right? One is Make sense?
Yeah.
Sí.
And then yeah, ¿por qué? ¿Por qué? If we're asking a why question, probably will answer back with because, which will just be the same thing. ¿Por qué? But it's one word and there's no accent mark. So this one means because. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué? Alright. Okay, ¿cuánto? Which will change gender, ¿cuánto or cuánta? Depending on what you're talking about, and that's how much. Especially used with like cost.
Yeah.
¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánta cuesta? Like that.
Yeah.
And then ¿cuántos or cuántas? How many? So there's more than one thing.
Yeah.
Or like I think I have a quantity of something. ¿Cuánta agua? How much? You might use this for quantity of like a liquid or food or something. But, and again, those ones, these two will change for gender. Okay. We have cuando. This is when. And then we have this word I, as a question word, means is or are there. Is there, are there. We've seen this one before and it can mean there is or there are, but changing intonation, keeping the same sentence structure, turns it into a question and can also be a question word. Which we will look at here. Are we good with this one?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look a little more closely at I and we will do some practice. And then I'll show you the vocab you can study this week and give you homework and then be done all in 7 minutes. So let's do it. Okay, so I knew today there's just so much for today. So it comes from the verb haber, which also means to have, which don't worry about it too much right now, we'll see it later. Definite articles like el, la, los, las will not follow this word. When a plural noun follows, we drop the article altogether. We'll have some examples here just like so you can actually have something to grasp. Alright, David, read this one for me.
Hay una alfombra en la casa.
Muy bien. There is a rug in the house. Okay? So we have the indefinite article, there is a rug. If you were using these, it just sounds weird. There's the rug in the house. Right? It's just, that doesn't make sense. Maria Rosario.
Hay un árbol. En el jardín.
Muy bien. There is a tree in the garden. Okay. Last one is hay estrellas en el cielo. So we see here, since this is plural, we just drop the article altogether. There are stars in the sky. Right? Don't need the article there. Here. A little more. So just what we said, as an interrogative word or a question word, the sentence structure will stay the exact same. It will just be spoken with a rising intonation. Okay? So, read this one as a question.
Hay una mesa en la casa.
See. Good. So, is there a table in the house? Bien. Maria Rosario.
Hay flores en el jardín.
Muy bien. Are there flowers in the garden? Okay. Good. And then, hay nubes en el cielo hoy. Are there clouds in the sky today? Good. Okay. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Really flexible, good word to have. Okay. Not too confusing or anything either. All right. Let's do some questions. Also, this picture has nothing to do with the actual question. I just like to think of all these people chatting, asking each other questions.
Where the
right
bathroom
here
is.
in this little cafe. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we have, where is the bathroom?
¿Dónde está el baño?
Muy bien. Come on. ¿Dónde está el baño? Good. It's like one of the first things 8th grade high school Spanish teachers teach you. Because they won't
So you can get out of class.
Get out of class.
Yeah.
Well, hall pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who is the person with the blonde hair?
¿Quién es la persona con el pelo rubio?
Perfecto. ¿Quién es la persona con el pelo rubio? Muy bien. How many stars are in the sky?
I'm gonna say, ¿cuántas
Very nice.
estrellas están en el cielo?
You got it.
Uh-huh.
That agreement.
Uh-huh.
You're getting it. Good. ¿Cuántas estrellas están en el cielo? Pregunta. Okay. Good word to have in Spanish, or a good phrase to have in Spanish class. What does it mean?
¿Qué?
Good. So if you don't know what a Spanish word means, you can ask, ¿qué significa? We kind of talked about that. One of the first class, I think. Como se dice, right? Why are there no people in the park today?
¿Por qué no hay personas en el parque hoy?
Porque hace mucho calor. Because it's so hot. ¿Por qué no hay personas en el parque hoy?
So the question and the answer start with a similar sounding words.
Yes.
¿Por qué?
¿Por qué?
Okay.
Well, we knew it. We knew it when we saw it. Yeah. Like that.
Where are you from? So, I wonder why it's doing that. It's freaking me out. Okay. I almost started saying this in Spanish. How much does the red car cost?
¿Cuánto cuesta el coche rojo?
¿Cuánto cuesta el coche rojo? Perfecto. Oh, what day is it?
¿Qué día es hoy?
¿Cuál día?
Remember?
¿Cuál?
Right
Just
there.
try not to look.
Yeah, because
Ah,
it's
very
touching instead of looking for ¿cuál día es hoy?
¿Cuál?
If
If you
there's
said ¿qué día es hoy? You'll get an answer. But
so it seems like the que is a noun phrase by itself, right? ¿Cuál is it another noun with it?
yeah, I guess so. Yeah, and also it's like I feel like K is more broad and vague, and then cual is like you're picking. There's like a somewhat of like a set you're choosing from. How are you?
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien. Good. Okay, we're not going to say this side today. Here, and there. Okay, this is what you're going to look up this week. It's very exciting. So yeah, we're not going to really read through them. We're not on the flashcards. So these will be your new words. And of course, this is a lot of vocab, and so it's good to just kind of, of course, study the flashcards, but more than that, kind of just really stick in your head the ones that are important to you in your daily life and your house, right? And if there's words that aren't here that maybe you want to apply to your class, to casa, those up, and that would be good.
Okay.
Okay. So, para la tarea, we're going to draw a house, and it does not be fancy. You can literally draw like, very simple. can draw a square, you know, and just divide it like this, if that's how simple you need it to be. Okay? And then you can just draw more squares. Okay, and this can be comma. This can be the bed. This can be la mesita, the coffee table.
Oh,
whatever. Okay.
Okay.
This can be la tele, like the television. You know. This can be BC. Okay. So nothing fancy, but kind of just create a little floor plan.
Yes.
Of a house.
Okay. BC is a
Bite.
bathroom. Oh,
Bite.
BC, how cute.
Yes.
What's the most comfortable punctuation mark to sleep on?
A comma.
There's another good one there. Yeah.
So yeah, little so yeah, this week will just be all that new vocab. That was kind of like the big one. 10 questions from the book. I'll post which activity it is. It's just like putting the correct question word in, and then create and label a house floor plan using all the new house vocab.
Okay. We're going to be drawing a mansion.
Okay.
Because it's the whole
you know. Try to have, 10.
I mean, I'll have 5 lamps and
20 words.
Okay. 10, 20 words?
Yeah. Somewhere in there.
2-story house.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be
studio apartment.
A studio apartment. Sweet. Yeah.
And if you want, if you just need any excuse for like artistic creativity,
That's me.
and you want to like illustrate in color and do all that, go for it.
Studio.
But if you just if this is all you have the time and energy for, this is it.
That's cool.
So
I got my creativity over.
Oh, I should before you delete it. We should show it to them.
This.
Yeah, right.
So they're logged on.
You want to take it? Yep.
Did they log on?
Awesome.
Yeah, they were here.
Nice. I'm gonna email them to if they
You want to just
missed
pull it up?
something. I'll like make a video
Wait.
quickly for them. Okay, so for the homework, you're going to use the new vocab from the vocab deck.
Whenever I disconnect the mic, it might cut out the sound.
Oh.
But as long as you show it.
Oh, but I'm right. Okay. So, creating a floor plan like this with all the new house vocab. You can use about 10 to 20 words from the list. Doesn't have to be this detailed. If you want something more just like this, you can draw squares and make little rooms and just create little pieces of furniture or whatever, labeling them with the new house vocab. And we will share them at the top of next week's class. And study the question words because we're going to be asking everyone questions about our house.
Nice.
What do you have in your house? Where is the...
very good.
Which room is this in? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fine.
So, baño izquierdo to the left.
Oh,
And master bedroom. And derecho. Okay.
Okay, algunas preguntas. Any questions?
No.
Also, forgot to put my laptop in and is at 4% now. So.
Oh my god.
Yes, it made it.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I'll post the homework and the new cards in the deck. And put that on the classroom. And for this week, y'all don't, unless you just want me to look at it before you can upload images. Otherwise, you can just bring your homework at the top. Next week, we'll go over it.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
Good job today. That was a lot. Lots of y'all like have so much Spanish now.
I know. I feel like my head's like full of like all new.
Good.
These palabras.
I know. We did like big things today, like question words.
Yeah.
Lots of verb
The verb conjugation, like that's going to be. I need to memorize the verbs, and then remember how to conjugate.
Well, for me, in this case, of course, my last name is Spanish. But for me, how can I say this? It's not so much trying to figure out the verb. It's for me to find out what sounds right. You know,
good,
because that's the kind of memory that I'm trying to figure
And
auditorily. You know, auditorily. Visually, I mean, I'm very strong at grammar, which you know that, I know that Spanish is a little bit backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So grammatically. So if I can auditorily just know that it's
And that's why studying the pronunciation and sounds at the beginning is so important too, because then that really helps, you know.
See.
Yeah.
See.
If you kind of understand how words should sound.
Yes.
Alright, so we're doing very good. So gracias.
Okay.
Hasta luego.
Gracias, Marisol.
Hasta luego. Okay, see y'all next week.
Adios.
Adios.
Special sign off for the online.
Yes. Thank y'all for joining online. Let me know if y'all have any questions, okay? Thank you. Also, if you need me to like go over anything again, I can post a video of myself reteaching something on Google Classroom, and I'll type that up in there too and email y'all, but just let me know what y'all need. Okay? See you next week.
Hasta pronto.